They tore down Captain Cook's statue. That's Australia's first chief scientist, actually. They know not what they do. Australia Day, and in central Melbourne, where else, the memory of Captain James Cook, one of the world's greatest explorers and a brilliant scientist, was desecrated. Mind you, as a person who fancies himself as a bit of an expert with an angle grinder, I've got to say they were pretty neat with cutting them off at the ankles. Normally these people are pretty useless, never done anything useful in their life, unlike Cook. He discovered the east coast of Australia, the Great Barrier Reef, almost reached Antarctica. His scientific achievements and those of his men included astronomical observations, charting unknown lands, discovery of innumerable animals and plants, and preventing the absolutely horrific disease of scurvy, the scourge of seamen before vitamin C was known. But it's not just Cook who was desecrated here. Cook here represents everything good about Western civilization and the Enlightenment. All the good that that civilization has done to change the world infinitely for the better. When they attack Cook, they attack all the brilliant scientists, all the statesmen who changed the world for good, such as William Wilberforce, one of Cook's contemporaries in fact, who was instrumental in almost abolishing slavery in the world for the first time in human history. And now for the broken science upon which they rely. Do they think that Aboriginal people did not invade each other's patch of land almost continuously since the first humans arrived in Australia 60,000 years ago? Where is the scientific evidence that suggests that Australian Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders were unique in history of humans and did not fight and invade? Read the accounts of William Buckley, the escaped convict who lived with the Aboriginal people for decades, and many other accounts of early life. Life was tough for the Aboriginal people, and they fought each other. They had to, like every other group in human history. And do they really think there weren't waves of invasion within the country and also without? The Aboriginals of 1770 were certainly descended from invaders themselves. There is plenty of proper science to indicate that. For example, the Bradshaw paintings, which are so different to all the other Aboriginal rock art in the whole of Australia. Where did those people come from and what happened to them? And there's even DNA evidence to suggest that very recent invasion, for example, research published a little while ago showing that North Australian Aboriginals can trace about 10% of their genome to migrants who reached Australia just 4,000 years ago from India. It's highly contentious work, but it's certainly very interesting. As the journal Nature suggests, the flow of genes suggests the continent was not isolated after all. If you're interested in that topic, I should probably do a video on it, but I warn you, anthropology is an area of science, and a lot of pseudoscience actually, that's awfully politically correct and woke. So what was different about the arrival of the British settlers? Call them invaders if you must. Well, the difference is that they ultimately improved the lives of the people on the Australian continent immeasurably. They brought brilliant science, but also brilliant philosophies of the Enlightenment and brilliant forms of government. And cricket too, don't forget that. Now, Cook represents all that's good of our society, and those misguided people who cut him down represent much of the worst.